I think that people don't quite understand what it's like to be in the presence of somebody like Steve Wynn. And you're trained a certain way. You know when him or his wife or his kids come in, you do what they want. I didn't feel I had any options. I was scared. In 1993, I was 23 years old. The Mirage was a newer, pretty exciting hotel on the Strip. Everybody wanted to work there. Being a spa attendant, it was really a good job for me. So I was very excited to get a job at the Mirage. Steve Wynn was the owner of the Mirage. He was a big influence to Las Vegas, to the hotel properties. He was the main guy. I did have a lot of respect for him. I never heard anything negative about him from anybody. I was working one night. I closed the spa that night. We were allowed to stay afterwards. We had a really nice workout room there. And then once I was off the clock, I stayed after to work out. And shortly after, maybe 10, 15 minutes into it, Steve Wynn walks in alone. It was known with Steve Wynn that he had failing eyesight. And that's why it was a little strange to me why he was by himself. He said hello and basically asked me to help him work out. And that's what we did at the spa as an attendant. I remember very clearly this song by Enya came on, and he looks over at me and says, "Oh, this song, it's so sexy." And that's when I started to get nervous, because I could tell that, that this probably isn't gonna go very well. And so at that point, we kept working out a little bit, and I really just wanted to leave. I wanted to just leave, but I couldn't for whatever reason. It's not like I was chained there, but something I just couldn't leave. And he said, of course, he needs help with his locker. So I went over and helped him with his locker, and then he persuaded me to go with him from the locker back to the spa because he needed help turning the spas on. And so of course I'm helping him and still wondering why nobody else is here. And the next thing I know, I look over and he is completely naked. And then in my head, I'm like, I'm really in trouble now. And he persuaded me, and this is very embarrassing for me to say, he did persuade me to take my clothes off, and I did. And I wrapped a towel around me and helped him into the spa. And as he walked down into the spa, I just sat on the edge to help if he needed help. And at that point, I just got up and ran. I got home and my phone rang, and it was Steve Wynn called my house. I remember him saying that was a misunderstanding, it was a mistake, and I told him that was not a mistake. It was not a misunderstanding. I think I set the phone down, my mom picked it up and talked with him, and he told her kind of the same situation. I was really nervous going to work the next day. I thought, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna lose my job. And at this time, my mom also worked at the Mirage. My sister also worked at the Mirage. I was taken into the director's office with my supervisor and my director, and then I basically got chastised by both of them. They made it like it was completely my fault. I'm like, does nobody believe me? Does nobody gonna help me? Is anybody besides my friends and family on my side? But I had zero support. I think it's time women start standing up for themselves. I've seen women especially are saying, oh, these women are coming out of the woodwork from so long ago and they're gold diggers. You know, I've never received any money for doing this. All this has to do with is just helping other women, showing these men that you can't do these kind of things to women anymore. Use your power to that advantage. It just has to stop. I didn't come forward back then. I was too afraid. I felt a lot of shame. But then now I feel safe. I think the determining factor was that my daughter is getting ready to enter the workforce. I don't want her to ever have to go through something like that. I don't want anybody to have to go through that. You should not be afraid whatsoever. Stand up for yourself. Say, no, I'm not gonna be treated this way. You're making me uncomfortable. I would like for you to leave. whatever you could do to get out of that situation. No matter who it is or who you are, you've got to stand up for yourself, and you've got to just not be afraid of the consequences, because there shouldn't be any consequences.